Alright, what's up everybody? It's Lyds, and we're back to break some more thrones, and we are now out of Moulderwood, and we are, well, back into the fire and ashes of Eddern, it seems. And if we take a look at our map here, we do still have one more encounter we'd like to come back to, the general Moulderwood area, although we probably are looking to press onward here for the time being, and then we'll circle back to go to this spot on a later occasion. So that means we're probably targeting either this fortification-like place over here, or heading over to this puzzle. So let's see what we find. Some resources here. And we are starting to accumulate a good number of those. Now, there was a really big upgrade that I think cost 5,000 coins that we kind of sort of would like to do. It's another one of the meta upgrades, not one that will directly improve the effectiveness of our deck. So, not entirely sure that's going to be the best course of action, but
I'm going no further, and I'd advise you to do the same. Bandits took the fort to the north.
okay, so that probably explains what this is all about then. Bandits have taken this fort. So it's either that or we carry on eastward to that puzzle. I suppose we give this a shot, though. Well, why don't we talk to these guys first?
Was nearly home. Nearly with my dear wife. Go to Eddern, they said. You'll sell at a profit, they said.
Oh. Yeah, something tells me that did not go according to plan.
I'm going no further, and I'd advise you to do the same.
Okay.
Bandits took the fort to the north.
That's what we heard before. So we'll just see if there's any goodies lying around here, but doesn't look like it. Besides, this spot. And maybe this guy?
How the demons do I get out of here? How do I quit this place for good?
Doesn't really seem like a confusing spot. I mean, Moulderwood, I would understand you saying that there's a dead end, but you're currently right next to the exit of the area that you have walked into, so that seems a little bit odd.
Cursed land. Nothing but corpses and ash. Corpses and ash far as the eye can see.
Okay, now that is pretty true, though, to be fair.
Smoke everywhere. Billows of it. Stings your eyes and scratches at your throat. Another dead end. How the demons do I get out of here?
Okay.
How do I quit this place for good?
So, you know, maybe an indication of what we're going to run into soon, which we'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We do have a shrine, which is good to know of. I'm not necessarily sure that we need it right now, because we're on neutral morale, and that might be good enough. Do we still have one back over here? We do. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have a surplus of shrines right now. So you make the case that for that reason, why not use it? But suppose it's not a terrible thing to have shrines on demand if needed. And we don't yet know definitively if we need it. So we'll save it, I guess, because why not? But we'll approach the fortress here. And we shall see. It looks pretty big, which makes me think this could be a very tricky encounter, but here goes nothing. We'll give it a shot.
The scouts reported the bandits who attacked the village that night now occupied a fort the Eddurnians had hastily abandoned during their retreat.
They'll have crossbows, arbalists, ballistae. The bandits are armed to the teeth.
Wow. Yeah. Ballistae for bandits? That's saying something.
What's more, according to the local folk, they had a witch among them. In light of these reports, Meve's advisors debated whether it was worth risking a fight with the brigands.
Let's call it as it is.
Gascon said.
The game's not worth the candle.
Game?
Rayla said, struggling to swallow her anger.
They slaughtered an entire village. We cannot let them get away.
Oh dear, is this going to be another one of those situations where we need to decide if we want to appease Rayla or take what would usually be considered the more logical route? Okay, attack the fort, avoid the bandits' hideout, So it sounds like the greatest risk is just that this is going to be a really difficult encounter, and so we are not certain that we are going to succeed. But if we do, then winning back a large fort, or at least getting rid of bandits in a large fort, and maybe, possibly, allowing the Adurdians to reoccupy could be a nice thing to do, and who knows what the deal is going to be with this witch, but, I mean, we gotta give it a try, right? We gotta give it a try.
The stage seemed set for a long debate when Meve pounded her fist on the table.
I am a queen, for God's sakes. I shall not cower before common rogues, even if the entire conclave of mages stands with them. Reynard, have the men prepare their arms.
Reynard saluted and left the tent. If one had seen him then, he would have sworn the grizzled soldier smiled to himself, beaming with pride in his ruler.
Alright, so Reynard approves, interestingly. I mean, if the entire conclave of mages were there, then, you know, maybe at a certain point we would say, alright, you know, let's not get too carried away here, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, so, her countenance grim, Meve peered at the fort's walls. The seizure of this fortress was of no strategic importance. Oh. Okay, well, you know, that might have been a useful thing to know in advance. Indeed, some might even call it a wholly unnecessary risk. But not Meve. Not us, apparently. Rather than drive off the invaders, these brigands took advantage of the confusion to murder and steal from their compatriots. The Queen refused to sit idly in the face of such depravity. Hint, killing is not the solution to everything. Oh, that is very useful. Okay, so special rules. So we will have an alternate objective. It looks like we will still have our own deck, but it is only one round. So let's see what we're dealing with here. Okay, so round 3, just one round. Before we start picking and choosing our cards, we figure anything out? Nothing on our opponent's side, but we have a Scepter of Storms. Oh, right, well, that's our new, trinket. It's like, oh, is that different for this encounter? No, we did that ourselves. Okay, so that does make it difficult to say what we're looking to do here. If killing is not always the answer, we do have a lot of damage with this hand, with all the slingers. Xavier, let's see. We would love to pair that with Rayla, if possible. Although, yeah, with all these new cards we've added in, Mandrake, play a random bronze unit from your deck, so not Rayla. And of course, Becker's Dark Mirror, we've used that a bit. I am wondering if, since the Cavalry are also a source of damage, maybe we want to get rid of some of them. Reynard, I mean, if we can get Rayla, this would be great. It's just that without Rayla, these two are borderline useless. So that is definitely becoming our top priority here. Stray's Bomber, again, is great for damage, but I don't know if we're actually looking to maximize our damage here. It sounds like we may not be. Scytheman might actually be preferable in this situation, given how it seems as though we might be prioritizing boosts instead. Oh, actually, hold on. Can we... No, we don't have any alternate objectives we know about either. And we have no information to go off here other than just that hint. Okay.
I saw flashes of light inside the fort.
What is happening? Also, we did not get Rayla, so that is not a good sign. Infantry
Surrender while you can!
Deserters. We've never seen this card before. If this unit's power drops to 4 or less, move it back to your deck. Which normally would be a good thing for us, so they have fewer cards on the board, except unless they have a way of magically summoning all of them out from their deck, which we don't really know at this stage. So, I mean, we may have botched this one already just because our hands with Xavier and Reynard is probably really bad, and we don't really know what does and does not work in this encounter, but we're going to give it a shot. So, I guess what bronze unit could potentially benefit us? Scytheman? Revolvers, again, not sure if that's the right answer. I think either way, probably not looking to play this right off the bat. So, I suppose we begin with... I mean, Xavier doesn't really do anything, but we'll play him because why not? It might be what Scepter of Storms does. Damage the lowest enemy unit by 2. Repeat until charges are depleted every turn. It gains more charges. So that is another source of damage, but I think we go Xavier, in large part just because we're stalling. Oh. Vickers is interesting. Not sure if he consumes something from our hand, what effect that might have. And we pass. Okay, I was gonna say, very dramatic pause. Eternian Cavalry, also a card we've not yet seen. Boost adjacent units by 3. Whenever an enemy leader is used, repeat deploy. Oh. I also did not use our deployability against the infantry deserters, which I have made a nasty habit of forgetting. But now there's the question of, is it even worth doing that? Boost adjacent units by 3. So they're gaining 3 points, whereas our leader ability gives us 4 damage, but with their 2 armor, we gain 2 points, they gain 3 points. We still lose out, unless we play the Scytheman first, and that loyal ability means that it is a little bit better for us. So I guess we go that route. But still not sure if we're trying to take you out, or not take either of you out, again, given what the hint had told us. So, we try to take you out because you will boost adjacent units, so assuming they play another card on this side, you'll get stronger. Whereas this one, if we can get you down to 4 power, that might be a good thing. But I'm still not certain because I have no idea what the rest of your deck is. So, we're just going to experiment. We're just going to experiment. So this one is a test run, basically. And I suspect that he'll probably take another attempt. At least, before we understand what we're actually trying to do here. The Stray Slayers actually could be a decent card against these guys, because they require that there are specific units next to them, whereas if we can make a point of removing the cards next to these cavalry, then it reduces their effectiveness. So that's an option. And it does seem as though this guy's going to get pretty big. So the Infiltrators could be a strong choice here. Probably going to want to wait and see if this gets even bigger, which if we continue to use our leader ability, then it should. So I think we wait on that. And again, Reynard is another card that is pretty useless here, without having a card that actually has orders, outside of Xavier, who doesn't matter because he can't give charges to a card with orders when there aren't cards with orders. So, yeah, again, our hand was atrocious. So, I think I'd kind of like to not move this guy and damage him, because I actually do want him to get bigger to power up the Infiltrator. So, except we don't really have much in the way of alternatives here. Yeah. We might go Mandrake and just cross our fingers that we get something useful. Oh, wait, what? I did not... Does Mandrake play a card from both decks? I did not remember that. I should have read the fine print more closely. Okay, so the Cavalry, we can mark a unit. Why don't we mark you? And then... we also get a card from their deck? I did not remember that. I remembered the whole we get a card thing. I did not remember the whole we steal one of their cards thing. Which would be useful. So... sure, I guess. Hold on. From each deck. Yep. I sped read that too much. Would have loved if we got one of their cards with an order ability, then suddenly Xavier would work. And it's more cavalry.
We must find a gap in the fortifications.
Okay. You trying to suggest that we should move these cavalry, perhaps? Creating said gap? I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I do actually think that the cavalry could be effective as well, a way of dealing damage without using our leader ability. So that's a little intriguing. But at this point, we may either need to use a slinger, or, I mean, I guess we'll just use Reynard as a throwaway, because, yeah, I don't think we're going to have any way of putting his ability to good use, so, sure, fine, whatever.
We'll get that fixed in no time, I promise.
Oh, this is new. Bandit Archer, which interestingly, in Gwent multiplayer at least, this is a Skoy Tell card. But damage a random enemy by 2. Repeat this ability when the enemy's loyal abilities trigger. Okay, this is kind of funny. They have a bunch of abilities that gain power or do their thing when we use our leader ability or activate our loyal abilities. And since they are all disloyal bandits or turncoats, deserters, then that seems really fitting. So I like that design. But let's see. And in multiplayer, this is row lock to the range row, which made me think maybe we move you. But I think, what if we... I mean, yes, this works. They do have the highest unit, we do have the lowest unit. Except, I would like for you to get bigger first. I don't want to damage you until we use the Infiltrator, except there's an anti-synergy here, where we're either optimizing for the Infiltrator, and in doing so, likely making it the biggest card, or optimizing for Becker's Dark Mirror, in which case we're weakening you and giving the Infiltrator a weaker target, which I'm pretty sure we identified as a potential issue a while back, but we just haven't used the Infiltrators very often, and so I had not recalled that that was something we had noticed. But, I mean, we could... I think we probably have to use Slinger now. Just a matter of... Yes, we get rid of you. What is... So we either get you the cavalry on a row by yourself, or we make it so that there are not cards on both sides of you, just cards on one side of you, so you only boost by 3 rather than by 6 when we use our leader ability. In which case, how do we make that happen? Well, it's not the easiest thing to do. We do move you. And then probably you two. And now at least this guy is only boosting on one side, as is this one. So yeah, that's something. And it may just mean that we never use our leader ability, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, wait, hold on. Why are you using this 2 or 3 times when you play it? We have not... I mean, we have previously triggered a loyal ability. I took that to mean, though, that you only do this when we use our leader ability and trigger this loyal ability in the process. You're not remembering past times when we've triggered this. That seems, that would seem way stronger if that is actually the way that that works. But now... I mean, again, it's more slingers, probably. We have other good ways to make this work. So we can move... do we want to make it so the cavalry are all in the same row together? That might be what we're doing, unless we want to try to maximize the boost on this Deserters. Put the Infiltrator next to it. I think... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. What if we do... I mean, we kind of like this, don't we? Where we have the cavalry on the end. So, what if we... Yeah, this is not going to be ideal. We are going to have a cavalry that is boosting on both sides now. But, yes, we go and... We just move all the cavalry. Maybe we do that. Keep them on the end. It means this guy will not get boosted by them anymore, which is potentially a downside.
Take it anymore.
Okay, no ability. I do like the looks of that. Does appear to be the weakest card that we've seen thus far. Then... So we are going to need to play the Infiltrator soon. It's either this, or it's this. I think we might need to go Becker's Dark Mirror here. Wait, do we have the lowest card right now? We do not. Do. Potentially. Oh. Well. Do our leader ability back. Which means, remember, this does come at a significant cost. It may not even be worth using it at all. But if we do use it on this cavalry, we can get rid of it and guarantee that we have the lowest unit, which means that Becker's Dark Mirror is effective. Or we wait 3 more turns when this gets destroyed by the mark, and then we should have the lowest card at that point. That's a long time to wait, and in that time we need to play the Straits Infiltrator, and we might end up with the highest unit. So, tell you what, it's weird, but I think we can't play the Infiltrator next to this Infantry Deserters, otherwise we're either going to damage this Infantry Deserters with the Dark Mirror and reduce the effectiveness of the Infiltrator, or we play the Infiltrator, give it enough time to come back, and it becomes the highest unit, and so we're hitting ourselves with Becker's Dark Mirror, and that's no good. So I think what we do is we actually play the Infiltrator next to the Eternity Cavalry there, because that's the second highest unit, and we need to put it to the left of this guy.
Shh, talk it.
So I think we do that, and by going that route, we want to use our leader ability at all? We may not. We may not.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Okay, so we do need to wait before we play the Slingers. I mean, before we play Becker's Dark Mirror, we could use a Slinger to take this guy out. And it does look like they only have 3. So, yeah. I mean, destroying them would be kinda nice, because then our leader ability becomes much more intriguing. Oh, hold on a sec. Well, then I was like, wait, we could deliberately move this guy out of this row and move this guy in, and then the Infiltrator gets boosted by this guy's power. But no, we deliberately did not play the Infiltrator next to this guy. That was not a coincidence. So, I think we probably do get rid of you, after all, and maybe even move this one as well.
The white of an eye from our
Do that, and then... And I would move you because you don't have armor, so we can get the damage, but that does mean putting a card to the right side of a cavalry where it will get boosted. So I think we actually might do that. That moves the mark to you as well. Okay. So... Now if we were to use our leader ability, they would what get? They would actually boost us, for what it's worth, which is kind of nice. I mean, if we could somehow sandwich an Infiltrator in between 2 cavalry, that'd be amazing, but that might be reason enough to go this route, and we could target the Archer, so it would be, what, 8 damage there, plus 5 boost, so that's 13 points versus their 3 points, 6 points, and actually boosting us here. Yeah, so it should be worth it at this point. Oh, except the damage from here. It's close. Let's do it. Okay. So now, in fact, this gets boosted higher. When this comes back to our side, it will be... Oh. That might have been enough to make this the highest card, which will be a bit of an issue with Becker's Dark Mirror. So that may have actually backfired.
Did you hear? A kind of incantation.
Something's not right. They should be dead with those wounds.
You said killing may not be the answer. Oh, look at this. Okay. So if you kill something, it comes back with Doom. Which means If it does get destroyed, it's actually destroyed for good. But it seems they're doing some kind of foul necromancy here. So, yeah, that's good to know. The problem is, yes, we have done exactly what we were trying to prevent ourselves from doing. That is giving ourselves the highest unit. So that now makes Becker's Dark Mirror completely useless, I'm afraid. Unless we deliberately use the Stray Slinger on ourselves, reduce this down to a 20, and potentially have Becker's Dark Mirror boost us rather than damage us. It's still a 50-50 chance, but I think we have to do that. Otherwise, this is a dead card, and it would otherwise be one of, if not our most effective cards. So I think we do that.
Bigger they are, easier they are to touch.
And other than that, I mean, we aren't going to have time to use a leader ability, so I think we're just going for the pure damage here. Also, what happened to our mark? Wasn't that supposed to move when the marked unit was destroyed, and now I don't see it? Did the mark happen to go on the infiltrator and we got it back to our side, and so the mark just went away? If so, that is very unlucky. Okay, also we should not have... Well, I mean, we aren't going to use our lead ability, so yeah, it doesn't matter if we put cards next to cavalry, as we were saying. So we'd love if you actually boosted this. But did they get the card back into their hand?
Hungry like a wolf.
Is that how it works when we destroyed it? Remind me exactly how the Scepter of Storms works. Damage the lowest enemy unit by 2. And they have several low units. I don't know what happens. This is our first time using Scepter of Storms, I believe. I don't know what happens if we have enough charges to destroy their lowest unit. Does that just immediately stop it from happening? Like, does it stop happening as soon as these Bandit Archers go down, or does it destroy the Bandit Archers and then with its remaining charges shift over to the next lowest card? But either way, it is time to use Becker's Dark Mirror. The question is, this 15 damage on the highest unit, is that going to trigger on you or on you? If it hits you, that's great. If it hits you, that's terrible. But we're going to try. And it hit us. Lovely. So it is net 0 points. So, well, as we said, we were trying to avoid that happening, but it turned out that we used their own cards against them to boost our card, except that actually was ultimately what backfired. So we'll use Scepter of Storms, and yes, it does keep on going even if it has overkill damage, so that is good to know. That is actually enough for us to take the lead here, except they do have 1 card left, so they probably still win here, but we're about to find out. And yeah, Xavier just doesn't have anything to do.
Juiciest sneaks in town. Get him here.
Oh, what? Excuse me? You got additional cards in your hand? And we lost by 2 points? Okay, so it's very doable. It's very doable. Let's try this again. Okay, so we don't really want damage. The movement is not bad, but as we saw, Stray's Infiltrator plus Becker's Dark Mirror is questionable at best. Want to be cautious with leader ability charges. The Stray's Cavalry is kind of nice, but do we just want to completely get rid of this? Maybe. Maybe. We might do that. Gascon. Now that's an interesting one. We do need to be careful about him and Becker's Dark Mirror, but this is a little bit easier. We can just play Gascon on our last turn and not have to worry about having Becker's Dark Mirror potentially hit him. So I like that. And then we might just keep this.
Your Grace, I saw flashes of light inside the fort.
Okay, and they go first. They'll still start with the infantry deserters. So I think what we want to do is just make sure that we play Gascon last. We'll play Becker's Dark Mirror second to last. And we don't actually want to destroy any of their cards. So I think what we do here is we're going to want to use a leader ability before they get all those cards down that get boosts and damage whenever we use our leader ability. So let's hit you. And still never really answered that question as to whether we wanted to drop you down to 4 power or if that was going to backfire in some way. So, I mean, we could use the cavalry on you. That may be worth doing. Let's try it out. Okay, so yeah, now these guys that do the boosting. And, I mean, we could... These are the guys we definitely don't want to kill. But if we mark you, we will deal damage. It will not be enough to actually... oh, we also should have put Knickers back in our deck. Oops. That was a mistake. That was potentially a big mistake. Now I'm wondering when we play him. I think we still go with the cavalry. And I think it's still okay to mark you because you will not have enough time to get destroyed. You will take damage, but you will not have enough time to get destroyed. And as we said, destroying you is what we want to avoid doing, as it turns out. So then we could move you guys to the other... Well, I mean, at this point, if we move anything, we're just moving you all. That doesn't make a huge difference. Maybe that means this is time to play Knickers. Now, he could unpredictably eat a card from our hand, which is a little scary. And more cavalry.
We must find a gap in the fortifications. 3
total. And then I think that's going to be it. One reason why we might have not wanted to mark this was because eventually, of course, we're going to use Scepter of Storms. And that is eventually going to destroy the lowest card, which will probably be the Deserters here, which will eventually put it back into their deck. But if this is the next lowest card, then we might accidentally have put this back into their hand or found a way to put it back into their hand in the future. So, let's see here. What if we go Scythe? Then maybe? Yeah, sure.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Well, I guess it's gonna
Okay, yep.
take some more
The
time.
Archer. So, looks familiar. And now the Slingers start to look a little more intriguing, because if we do this, we can move these guys. Probably wanted to move you, to tell you the truth, because again, we don't actually want to destroy the cavalry, so we want to try to make sure these are never the weakest cards, otherwise Scepter Storms might destroy them.
We'll get that fixed and done.
Okay, and their Archer. We definitely have the lowest unit, for what it's worth, so we could use Becker's Dark Mirror, it's just that we don't want to hit the Eternian Cavalry. So we could Slinger again, and we'd probably go 1, 2... maybe 3? But no, we want to get you guys low. So I think we go this route here.
Easier they are to target.
We do have a leader ability back, so we could use that to damage people, but it does mean they get some boosts in the process, which may not be desirable. At this point, they would be getting, what, 3, 6, 9, 12 total boosts, right? 1 proc from you, 2 procs from you, 1 proc from you, yeah. So, that's a lot of points. And that is more points than we would generate, so I think we just don't use our leader ability.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Okay. So what I'm wondering is, I mean, we would very much like for the Becker's Dark Mirror to work soon, but I guess last time we had the Eternian Cavalry next to the Deserters, and that made the Deserters the biggest card. So maybe we need to keep a Deserters next to a Cavalry so that that becomes the Becker's Dark Mirror target rather than this guy, because that's not doing us any good. We might need to move some cards around to make that happen. And how would we do that? Or at least use a leader ability so that this can survive a Becker's Dark Mirror? Huh. I think that might be our last turn. We use a leader ability to get No, it's gonna have to be our second to last turn if we wait on Gascon. We use a leader ability to get some guys boosted so that they can take a hit from Becker's Dark Mirror. We use Becker's Dark Mirror. And then on our last turn, we go Gascon. Oh, also we have Mandrake, which I totally forgot about. We could go that route here. See what we get. Okay. Well, we definitely don't want the card that we just picked up, that being the Deserters, to be the highest unit, which it would be, at least short term. So let's make sure that we are damaging a card that we actually want to be, one of the cards that gets destroyed by Scepter of Storms. Then for you, just get you down here. We will use a leader ability charge, because we actually want them to get a unit that is bigger than this.
Guy Vettles, hungry like a wolf I am.
Okay, and that we did just see that their Deserter went back into their deck, which, at least short term, seems to have functionally destroyed it, so that's good. And now it's probably going to need to be Slingers. We want to be careful about what cards we're setting up for the destruction here. So again, we want to make sure that the non-cavalry, or well, actually, is it cavalry specifically that we wanted to make sure didn't get destroyed, or do we just not want to destroy anything? Because, I'm now realizing that perhaps the bandits shouldn't get destroyed either, but the Scepter of Storms is going to destroy something here, if not multiple things. So, I think we prioritize having the Endurnian Deserters going down, because they are the ones that are the least threatening if they get played a second time. Okay.
Can't take it anymore.
There's another Deserters. So here's our last turn. And we do still have the highest card, and that's no good because we need to set up Becker's Dark Mirror, which means, yes, we will use our leader ability now, either on these 9-point Deserters or on these 5-point Bandit Archers. Let's go on the Deserters, because although it's less damage because they have armor, it means we're destroying fewer units, which is probably still the right play. Not entirely sure about that. Well, I mean, then again, Scepter of Storms is going to destroy these guys no matter what. If we damage you, Scepter of Storms is going to destroy you easily. That would make you the next target, and then you the next target after that. That's what we don't want. It's going to have enough damage to hit you, but not destroy you. Okay, I think that's still fine. So we go use a leader ability charge here. That boosts you so that you are now the highest unit, which is good, because that means we can use Becker's Dark Mirror. Oh, Scepter of Storms might destroy you after this, but we might want to use Scepter of Storms right now. And it'd go here, 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 but it wouldn't have enough damage to take you out. I think that might actually be the play. Otherwise, we're at risk of destroying this after we use Becker's Dark Mirror on it, and I don't think we want to do that. Again, it's not entirely clear to me exactly how it works with the whole resurrection-y stuffs. But now, and we still have the lowest unit, so that's fine. We use Becker's Dark Mirror, damage you by a lot, boost you by a lot, and Gascon is our finisher. So yeah, there's the thing. They get a bit of a boost when we destroy a card. And then the question is,
They should be dead with those wounds.
do they get to play all their cards here? Or do they just play one more? If it's just one more, then we're probably fine. We do still have the lead, and Gascon is a big finisher. We still have another charge with Scepter of Storms. For some reason, I thought that you use it once and then you can never use it again, even if it would have gained additional charges. So that might be good info to have. We can use it more precisely in the future. But we use Gascon. And at least, as of right now, that means we have the lead, and sure, we'll use Scepter of Storms for a little bit more damage. And do they play all three cards here? Or do they just play one? Okay, no, they do. They do seemingly play all of them. So, yeah, that means do not destroy anything in that case. Doesn't matter what it is, it needs to stay alive, otherwise it will get replayed. So that's all useful stuff to know. But with that being said, I think now is a good place for us to wrap up here. And, well, because I gotta go. And we now have a much better sense as to what to expect when we do that encounter. And it's a really cool one. I am certainly a big fan of it. It's gonna perhaps take some either very fine-tuning with, or very deliberate action with the cards that we play, or possibly even some modifications to our deck to reduce the amount of damage that we have, because they don't put up that many points unless you destroy their cards, in which case, suddenly, they can play 2, 3, maybe even 4 more cards than you, and that is a hard thing to outscore. So, thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.